Moving the Jordan Poole story forward a little bit, JD, according to Steve Kerr, and there was a report by Mark Spears that said Jordan Poole is fine and he's willing to move forward and get back on the floor with Draymond Green. And if that's the case, all right, that's step one. That's step one. Now we'll see, right? Now we watch. I'm kind of going to be all over the place here, but I do think you're onto something with the whatever we do, let's do it and get it out of the way for game one.
No question.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, giving the Warriors the best chance to succeed in this thing. And I said it yesterday when I was in for Ray with Damon. To me, the Warriors are maybe the only franchise in pro sports that could have this situation unfold the way that it has, handle it in the manner that they've handled it in, and are continuing to handle it in, and it gives them the best chance to move forward and get everybody back on the same page to where they can contend for a championship. Like, I think this would have wrecked probably every other team in professional sports, but they have this ability, whether it's Jordan Poole's ability to be cool or take his cues from Steph Curry, who was getting everybody together, and we've all heard about Kevon Looney and Andre Iguodala, Bob Myers, Steve Kerr. I feel like they are better equipped than any franchise to try to make this thing work, at least for one more year. Beyond that, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. 888-957-9570 is the number. The Xfinity mobile text line also at 888-957-9570. I know we're not in the locker room and we're not behind the scenes, but everything that's come out has been, to my way of thinking, a real positive. Jordan Poole's been portrayed very positively since this occurred. And this is what got me to thinking. And Steph Curry is Steph Curry, and he'll never be touched by anybody around here. But this team's getting a little bit older, and it's not going to go on forever, and we're starting to see that, I think, I don't want to say unravel, but come to fruition. So now they got a player, Jordan Poole, who's 23 years old and due for a contract extension. I just feel like what he's done in the last week, if what he's done has been accurately reported, is, okay, might not be Steph Curry the player, but it looks like he's a real high character guy. And yeah, he chirps. But if he's able to move on from this, I mean, it's a guy you kind of want on your team in a way, because, first of all, I've been really thinking about him. I think he's pretty good. And I looked at his numbers at his age compared to Klay Thompson. They're very comparable. I mean, he's averaged 18 points per game on a championship team in the regular season. And now apparently he's handled this terrifically. I think he's going to sign an extension. I think that's going to be the announcement we hear before opening night.
Yeah, it's coming, and I've advocated for it over the last couple of months. I think it makes a lot of sense to sign him now, not have him have to worry about playing like a guy that's trying to get paid when there have been some undertones that's really important to him.
Right.
To me, you want to because ultimately the difference between what he can make now and what he'll make later, it's not going to change a whole heck of a lot. Why put that relationship in a position where you're essentially saying to Jordan Poole, you know what, go get a deal in restricted free agency and we'll match it or we won't match it. Why even let it get to that point? Because the difference in money is not going to be that dramatic, I think, at this point in time. So yeah, he's a guy you want to have around. And look, here's the other thing. I think all of these things are good signs for Jordan Poole, the way he's handled this situation. I'm not necessarily going as far as maybe you're going, as far as maybe, I don't want to use the term anointing, but I may like anointing him the future of, I don't know. It feels like there's something.
No, I get you. And I think part of that's Steph Curry.
Like, he's a good young player.
He is a good young player.
That you want to have around.
He's a good young player. And I'm not saying Jordan Poole's got to retire a Warrior. But to me, re-sign or extend this guy for 4 years so you can find out how big of a star he is.
No doubt. And he's somebody that you definitely need this year. And
Absolutely.
you need for the next couple of years. We'll see what happens. I mean, maybe there's an onus on trying to do right by him if you feel like he needs to go maybe to his other team and be a one if he can't be that one here. And if it gets to that point, it gets to that point. Maybe he becomes a tradable commodity in a way that can bring you other players that can help you win a championship around a new core or around a core that's aged a little bit. There's a lot of different options on the board for Jordan Poole. And you're right, we get to learn more about the personality and the humility if it exists in the manner that it may based on the way he's handled this Draymond situation.
There's also a risk the Warriors face if they don't extend him before the 17th, and that is this. And we've seen it occasionally with restricted free agents. If Jordan Poole hits restricted free agency, but the league is under the assumption that the Warriors are going to match, they're not going to make an offer to him because you have to sit tight during that time period when the Warriors match. So you can't do anything. So there's a theory out there that some teams, they don't want to do the negotiating for the Warriors. Hey, we'll negotiate Jordan Poole's contract. We'll come to an agreement. And then the Warriors just say, yeah, that sounds good. We'll do it. But if he doesn't get an offer from another team, not because he's not good, but because I'm not doing that because the Warriors are going to match. Warriors are going to match. Warriors are going to match. Sometimes then the Warriors then have the leverage where they don't have to go to that number because you don't have any other offers. You know what I mean? Like we saw it a little bit with Ayton, and that apparently hasn't totally gone away.
Yeah, he wanted to go.
Right. Exactly.
He wanted to go, and that's one of the things that I've been, pretty strict to sticking to in the last week is like Jordan Poole ain't going anywhere.
Right.
Unless the Warriors are comfortable letting him go.
Right.
Which I don't believe that they are by any stretch at this point. So I do think in that vein, it's been a little overblown. Not that Poole doesn't deserve the utmost of credit for how he's handling this situation, but the notion that he had any kind of juice to say, I want out, is like that was a little bit laughable to me.
Well,
like you got no juice on that angle.
Well, the other thing that I think's funny, and I'll contradict myself here, but just to make a point, is Jordan Poole is being talked about in glowing terms with how he's handled this situation. We don't even know how he's handled it.
Exactly.
We have no idea. So, yes, the things that are being said leads me to believe he's okay with this or he's able to move forward. Here's what we're going to do today. Cam Inman at 1:30, that's in an hour. Brian Geldzeiler at 1, that's in a half hour. Our boss came up to me today and said, let me ask you a question. What would we be talking about if Draymond Green and Jordan Poole hadn't gotten into this altercation? And I said, that's a good topic. Let's get into it. Because the Golden State Warriors, to me, one of the challenges they have this year is generational, JD. And I want to get into that on the other side. And then I want to get into the young guys, Wiseman, Kuminga. How much realistically are they going to be able to help this team win a title?